Have you ever just stopped and wondered, what makes us us? I mean, really, what is it that separates us from every other creature on this planet? It's a massive question, right? Well, today, we're going to dive into the one science that's dedicated to answering it: anthropology. At its very heart, anthropology is trying to solve the ultimate puzzle. What makes us human? And to do that, it can't just look in one place. No way. It has to scour our entire existence, from our most ancient bones to our most modern beliefs, to find all the pieces. And this brings us to the most important word you're going to hear today: holistic. Anthropology is the holistic science of the human story. That word is everything. It means you can't understand people by just looking at our biology or just our culture. You have to see how it all fits together. So, where do you even start with a puzzle that big? Well, we start by putting on our detective hats and traveling way, way back in time. We've got to dig into our past to find those first crucial clues about who we are and where we came from. You know, the human story unfolds over an incredible amount of time. We're talking millions of years. It all kicks off about 4 million years ago with our early ancestors who started walking on 2 feet. Then a huge leap forward with Homo erectus, who were mastering fire and making some pretty advanced tools. And finally, we see the arrival of people who were basically like us, creating art, practicing rituals, and living in complex societies. So, what did that evolution actually look like? This chart really shows the game-changing moments. Just look at the brain size. It doesn't just grow, it explodes. The tools go from simple, sharp rocks to sophisticated, crafted hand axes. And crucially, look at the range. Our ancestors start to spread all across the globe. This isn't just a physical change. This is the beginning of us becoming a planetary species. But, you know, our past isn't just written in our bones. It's also written in the stuff we left behind. Archaeologists are experts at reading the stories hidden in everyday objects. A broken pot, a discarded tool. These things are like diary entries from the distant past, giving us an amazing glimpse into the minds of our ancestors. And check this out. This is just so cool. By looking at 5,000-year-old skeletons, archaeologists found a very specific pattern of wear and tear on the bones, what they call horseman syndrome. This is the first direct proof of horseback riding, long before we had any other evidence. Just think about that for a second. Our very skeletons can reveal a technological revolution that literally changed the course of history. So our bodies evolved and our tools got way better. But what about our societies? Okay, now we're going to shift gears from our physical past to the invisible blueprints that shape our lives today. Every single society has a set of rules about family, about status, about power that feel completely normal to the people inside, but can look radically different from the outside. And at the very core of every society is this idea: kinship. It is so much more than just a family tree. You can think of it as the fundamental blueprint for social life. It tells you who you can marry, where you're supposed to live, and who you can count on when you're in trouble. It's pretty much the original social network. So how does kinship actually work in the real world? We'll take a simple question. When a couple gets married, where do they live? For a lot of people, like the Yanomami of Venezuela, the answer is they live with the husband's family. That's called patrilocal. But then you look at the Kasi of India, and the couple moves in with the wife's family. That's matrilocal. It just shows that a choice we think of as so personal is actually shaped by the cultural blueprint we grow up in. And what about social status? How societies are ranked? Well, anthropology shows us there are 2 basic models. In a caste system, your place in society is decided the moment you're born, and it's fixed. You can't change it. But in a class system, your rank is more based on economics, and you can potentially move up or down the ladder. That one single difference, whether your status is fixed or flexible, shapes almost every part of your life. Okay, so we have our physical bodies, and we have our social rules. But now we get to the magic ingredient, the thing that might be the most uniquely human part of us: our ability to live in a world of shared meaning. It's not just about our actions, it's about the whole symbolic world we build around them. This classic definition from Sir Edward Tyler really just nails it. Culture is that complex whole. It's everything we learn as part of a group, our beliefs, our laws, our art, our customs. It's the whole package of how we live and see the world, and the most important part is that it's acquired, not inherited. So let's break that down. What exactly is culture? Well, first off, it's learned. You aren't born with it. Second, it's shared. It's what connects you to a group. Third, it's symbolic. It's what gives meaning to everything, from a flag to a handshake. And finally, it's a system. All the parts, like family and food and faith, they're all interconnected. Now, to really understand a culture, anthropologists have this powerful tool in their toolkit. They look at things from two perspectives at once. So let's say you're watching a healing ritual. The emic view is the insider's perspective. For them, it's all about spiritual power and connecting to ancestors. But the etic view is the outsider's analysis. They might see how that same ritual brings the community together and reinforces social bonds. You need both to see the whole picture. Here is a perfect example of how culture can just flip our expectations completely upside down. It's a ceremony called the potlatch. In many societies, power comes from having the most stuff, right? Well, in a potlatch, power and status come from giving away the most stuff. A high-status family throws a massive feast and gives away huge quantities of valuable goods. And by doing that, their social standing goes up. It's an economy that's literally driven by generosity, not greed. Okay, so we've looked at bones, artifacts, family rules, and symbolic systems. Now let's put it all together and see why this approach is so powerful. So what's the ultimate takeaway? It all comes back to that one word we started with: holistic. The unique power of anthropology is that it absolutely refuses to look at us in little pieces. It doesn't separate our biology from our history or our social lives from our language. It insists that to really understand humans, you have to see how all those different puzzle pieces fit together. And this holistic approach is actually organized into 4 main fields. We've already met 3 of them: biological anthropology, which studies our bodies and evolution; archaeology, which digs up our past and our artifacts; and sociocultural anthropology, which studies our societies and beliefs. The final piece of the puzzle is linguistic anthropology, which explores how language itself actually shapes our reality. And that's why, if you really want to answer that question, what makes us human, you have to turn to anthropology. It is the only science that listens to the constant conversation happening between our genes, our history, and the incredible, amazing variety of cultures we create. So this leaves us with one final, really powerful thought. If culture, our ability to learn, to share, to adapt, is our species' superpower, if it's the tool that let us take over the entire planet, then what are we adapting to next? In a world that's changing faster than ever, that's not just some academic question. It's a question for all of us.